Hello everyone, Joshua Goldstein here, aka Mono Black Devotion, back again with another episode of Dozen Minute Deck Building, the show in which we showcase then test a Pokemon the trading card game deck, all in under a dozen minutes, a premise that we will forget after exactly 2 episodes. Today we're looking at a deck that I've been trying to make work ever since I picked up this game 10 minutes ago, Soaking Horn SEAKING. So here's the list. Now, I know there's at least 4 cards here you don't recognize, so get ready for an agonizing over-explanation of every single card in the deck. I bet you really needed to know what Lysander does, huh? Now, as always, I'll give you a quick overview of the deck, followed by the card by card. Firstly, for those who don't know, Seaking is a shitty 90 HP Stage 1 Pokemon that has a really sweet attack, Soaking Horn. For just 1 water energy, this attack does 90 damage if you have been healed this turn. Now, it may not sound like much, but 92 hit KOs most Pokemon in the game, and the relatively easy setup of this poke means we are more than happy to trade 2 of it for an EX. Now, there are a multitude of different ways to trigger the healing, but when deck building, we've got to consider how to most effectively mitigate Seaking's, admittedly, several weaknesses. Firstly, it's got 90 HP, so just relying on our opponent to deal damage will heal is probably not ideal. They can also just pass if we've got a setup that will mitigate most of their damage anyway. Second, we've really got to do 110 damage to hit that Shaman sweet spot. 90 is good to 2-hit KO, but sometimes we just need to kind of cheese out a win. I think this build of the deck is the most effective at solving those problems. Instead of jumping to Rough Seas or some other form of repeatable healing, we're going to play Team Magma's Secret Base. This way, when we play our Goldines from hand, they will start with 20 damage on them, and we will be able to ding our opponents for 20 as well. Next, we need a repeatable healer, and for that we have Jinx with Victory Kiss. Jinx is really excellent since she can heal a 20 damage Seaking to 10, then do it again next turn as well. If they're hitting for 80, they'll probably hit for 90 anyway. Add a little Oranguru draw engine and you've got a stew going. So, let's do the card by card. First, we have 2 copies of Oranguru, and you need to be using 1 and 1 just to tilt your opponent a little bit, as well as make sure to know exactly which one you've prized, because you'll always prize 1. This guy obviously uses his ability Instruct to refill your hand and save you $80 on a copy of Shaman. Next, we have Jinx. This is our healing outlet. We're going to get easy setups with her and Brigitte to heal for about 30 every turn. Think of it as a one-sided Rough Seas, especially since we're only playing 1 water poke anyway. Next is Goldine, the greatest card in the deck. I love this art. Just looks really, really, really beautiful, actually. A really, really good drawing. After that is Seaking. Thankfully, even if we don't have a way to damage Seaking, it can hurt itself with Reckless Charge, but a 40 damage attack is really not going to get you very far, especially in the mid-game. Afterwards, we have 3 copies of Dive Ball, sorry. I'm not playing 4 just because there's like 10,000 different balls we can use in this deck, and occasionally we want to get things that are not Seaking. After that, we have 1 Escape Rope. Routinely we'll open Oranguru or Jinx and, actually have to get them off of the board. 4 copies of Level Ball finds us our Jinxes, our Goldines, and our Seakings, making it our most effective form of ball. After that is Nest Ball. This finds us an Oranguru, a Goldine, or a Jinx, another really flexible option. 4 copies of Trainer's Mail. Since we're playing a bunch of different balls, we want to be able to get them into our hand. And, of course, for Ultra Ball, the best one of all. Next, we have 4 copies of Versus Seeker because I'm a noob and read Versus Seeker and thought it sounded really, really good, so I'll just play 4. 4 copies of Team Magma's Secret Base because we really want this thing open and we get into Stadium Wars quite often. After that, we have my own little spicy tech, 2 copies of Brigitte. This allows us to set up Oranguru, double Jinx, or find either a Goldine or, 3 Jinx. I mean, there's just a multitude of options, and most importantly, she gets under Team Magma's Secret Base since you don't play it from your hand, so your Jinxes can remain as healthy as they need to be. 2 copies of Lysander because I'm always paranoid that I'm going to prize 1. Actually, it's more like experience. I always prize 1. And 3 copies of N. You want to use 1 of each different art just because you want to have options when you Versus Seeker. If you want, like, the lazy N or the, happy N, the wheel N. Then we have 1 copy of Skyla. This gets us our Escape Rope, any ball that we need, Team Magma's Secret Base as well. Just another way that we can open it. 2 copies of Assault Vest, just to give our Seaking a little bit more added bulk. I haven't been completely happy with this card, but I think it's probably better than Poison Point or Poison Barb. I don't know what that card's called. Regardless, it has to have something on it to make your opponent not want to attack it. Finally, we have our energies. We have a whole bunch of water energies and 4 copies of Rainbow Energy, which puts 10 damage on the Pokemon that you attach it to. Really good for setting up Seaking in a world where you've already expended your Magma's Secret Base health. So, with that, let's jump into the game. So our game is going to be against a water box player, and you can see the video is moving at about 10,000 times speed. That's because one game of Pokemon the Trading Card Game takes about, 30 years to play. We've opened no pokes, and then we open an Oranguru, just classic there. They have a Magikarp, and I'm thinking, oh shit, is this that Gyarados deck that, like, pluses off of Magikarps getting hurt? That's not going to be good if we play this Magma's bench, but we'll do it anyway. We'll Bridget for our Jinxes, and we will pass back. So things are looking alright if we can get this Oranguru out of our life. Our opponent is going to Skyla. They grab themselves a Dive Ball, and they Dive Ball for a copy of Glalie, and I'm thinking, what the hell does Glalie do? I have no idea. I see it has the, like, freeze thing, so maybe it's a Glalie deck. We do draw the Escape Rope off the top, just really great, and then we instruct ourselves into a Oranguru. We can instruct again, we draw an energy, we'll heal our guy, and we'll hit for 90, which is good. That's a start. Unfortunately, that's really all it is, because if he can get us to have the same amount of cards in hand, we may have a problem. And with that Judge, he'll do exactly that, hit me for 110, and suddenly I am down 2 prizes, because I don't have another Goldeen on my bench. Thankfully, we've drawn all 3 copies of our SEAKING. You really want to see all 3 copies in your hand. Turn off your Oranguru. Just, you know, excellent Pokemon TCG right here. They're going to go for the freeze again, I believe. Yep, for 50, and I figure, well, okay, whatever. I'll just equip an energy to this Jinx and then retreat it so that I can heal this guy back up and kill the Glalie. So we have 2 prizes. We're actually up on prizes now. I'm feeling pretty good. We're up on board 2. And then I see, unfortunately, this card, which gets him a copy of Glaceon, and I actually don't have an out to Glaceon, so we are in a bit of a pickle. It's at this point in the game that I usually start, you know, weaponing up my Orangurus. They can attack, if you did not know, and their attack actually isn't terrible. It does like 120 to a powered up Glaceon, so it's a 2-hit KO. I'm figuring after I knock out this Articuno, I'll probably have to face the fully powerful, fully operational Glaceon, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it done. We do start drawing energies, so that's good. We have at least 2 available, which means we're going to be I don't know, at least able to attack once. He's basically fully powered up this Glaceon. He's 1 DCE away, and I know he's got it. He's going to put me to sleep again. I wake up, just really, really excellent coin flipping on my part. We'll hit him for another 90. That knocks out the Articuno, and suddenly we're 1 EX away from victory. I figure if I draw Lysander at any point in this game, I can probably figure out a way to knock out the Gyarados or the Blastoise. They are both 2-hit KOs, and I'm playing like max versus Seeker, so I can probably recycle the Lysander quite easily. We're going to heal up as much as we can. Thankfully, we're only taking 40 because of the Assault Vest, and we can heal for 30 every turn, so we're not really doing anything differently. I finally draw the other energy for the retreat cost, and I'm going to hit it for 120. He's going to swap out into the Blastoise, which I'm a little bit afraid of, but a little bit not afraid of, because if he ends up, you know, stuck in the Blastoise, we can Lysander our way out to kill that. We'll send out the SEAKING. We draw a copy of Rainbow Energy, which gives us the ability to attack. We'll instruct our way into another Goldeen, and we'll hit it for 90. So suddenly we're 1 Lysander away from victory. He Crushing Hammers, which is a real big problem because we only have like 3 or 4 energies left in our deck. And then he swaps back into Glaceon, of course. That's fine. I mean, we're far off any play that doesn't involve drawing Lysander. So we'll level ball our way into another SEAKING. I'm just really wanting to get them out of my deck now. I want to be able to set them up after he inevitably knocks out this SEAKING, which I believe he does this turn. Yep. And we get to send out this SEAKING, hoping we'll draw, like, I don't know, a Lysander or an energy or something. We have another setup, so we can start using this Oranguru to draw if we can get down to 3 cards in hand. Unfortunately, we've drawn both copies of Team Magma Secret Base. I'm just like, please, God, all I need is a Lysander and an energy, and I have 10 cards in my deck. We have 1 more prize, I think, to do it with. We're going to Dive Ball for nothing so that we can instruct, and we draw into a Versus Seeker, which gets us an N, and I'm like, okay, maybe, but unfortunately, we don't even draw it here. I mean, we really have about 9 cards in our deck left, and we can't find these 2 that we need. He's Center Lady's the wrong person. I'm like, still on the Blastoise plan. Please, God. We're going to send out the SEAKING. We're going to Ultra Ball into nothing so that we can draw 3 cards, and maybe we could do it. Unfortunately, we don't. We N, and we can't even find it there. We're going to say, well played, and scoop this sucker up. I believe all it takes is 1 Crystal Ray for us to lose the game. Back with a deck, and it didn't end up very well. Truthfully, 90 damage is just not enough to get over most things in the format. I have played a lot of games with this deck, and while I can tell you it has a pretty positive Volcanion matchup, that's basically its only good matchup. Waterbox is an absolute travesty, as you saw in that game, because we really don't have an out to Glaceon, and equipping 3 of our, 11 energies to an Oranguru is usually not good enough to win us the game. We certainly misplayed a little during that set, but at the end of the day, I think we did have outs, we played to them, and we just couldn't find them. The deck has to jump through a lot of hoops for very little payoff, and for that reason, I think it's probably never going to be competitive in any capacity. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed another fantastic episode of everyone's favorite show. If you liked this episode, check out my stream highlights, which are my most successful and consistent series. If you have an idea for a deck or archetype you want to see in a future episode of this show, let me know in the comments section below so I can safely ignore you. Otherwise, April Fools.